Filming the Southside Doubles Temp course here at Wemo. First hole, 320 feet, dead straight ahead. You can see the little white flag out there. That's the pin location. So now we're at hole 2. This is only about 250 feet. See the white flag right there. Dead straight ahead. Obviously the fence to the right place is out of bounds if you get into the baseball field. But other than that, pretty wide open. Again, the winds are really swirly today. We're kind of in a rush, so had to bear with us. We wanted to get something out so that people who were playing this event could, you know the course a little bit. That's a putt. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, still all right. All right, so now we're on hole 3, 275 feet, plays slightly uphill though, so maybe a little bit longer. We got our friend Lee Davison pretending to be the basket right now. He's actually part of the Southside Disc Golf Club that's running this doubles tournament and helped set up this temporary course. He's kind of out here showing us around because the layout hasn't made it to UDisc yet. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Got the wide left lane, which is the most open. If you play something dead straight, you can still get to the basket, but you kind of have to get a good skip up the hill. And you can play a wide hyzer out wide right over the baseball field fence and try to crash left. But if you're too high, you're going to hit those branches and fall straight down. So you have to have something coming in pretty low if you're going to go for that play. And there's a nice just straight at it shot like that. That's a good shot. That's a birdie putt on the edge of the circle left side. Again, you can kind of just throw something dead straight. You don't have to be too crazy about trying to move left to right or vice versa. Again, that left side is more open for kind of a forehand play, but throwing a laser beam straight up the middle definitely can get you there. All right, so now we're at hole 4, 280 feet. Basket's kind of right up there. So you can go straight at it through the gap I'm zooming through, or you can go wide left with the left to right moving shot, or there's like a little hyzer gap over here to the right that you can hyzer something up there. So it's just dealer's choice. How to play a turnover up the left side. Make it turn. Oh well, it's like pin high, but way left. It's not bad. It's close to pin high, just a little right. Oh, wow. Got a little sneaky there, but it's up there.
Good. That's a good shot.
You have to go a little wider left than that, but hey, I got up there, so we good. That was a great shot from Dave. That's pretty close. Like that. And there was that last shot that Dave threw, and you can see the white flag right there, so he pretty much parked it. My first backhand was a big turnover that didn't turn over and was in that pile of crap over there. So just to kind of give you an idea. And my forehand was shorter than his backhand, you see, just kind of just behind it. So just to give you an idea of the distance, like I said, it's 280. All right, so now we're at our first par 4 in the layout. This is hole 5, 560 feet, plays slightly uphill as well. The pin is actually, you can kind of see the white flag there through the fence, right there in the middle of the screen, top of the screen. So you can kind of play something right up the center, like I'm pointed at, and have it move left to right, and kind of get up there, and then have a, chip shot up to the basket. Or you could play something like crazy wide left on a forehand and skip around if you wanted to, but it's really kind of dealer's choice. It did.
That ain't bad.
What's up say for an upshot?
That's a chip shot.
Probably got about half the distance I needed, roughly. Might be like 300 feet out from the basket from there. Dave's right there next to me. Oh, I got to kick left. Not the end of the world. That'll work. Up there somewhere. All right. So here's when my first disc landed, the turnover that I played up the center. It's about 275 from the basket. You can see the flag kind of right there in front of the gate. It's about 30 feet in front of that gate. So yeah, I'm about 275-ish out from here. Then my other shot is more left, kind of by that big tree. So it's a little closer to the basket, but it's downhill from it. So it'd probably be a similar distance approach shot, honestly, even though it technically made a little bit more forward progress off of the tee. So here's that pine I was showing you, whatever the heck tree that is. I'm not a botanist, and there's the flag. So you just have like an uphill, maybe like 275-ish, 250-ish shot, kind of dead straight ahead. So that'd be what you're left with if you're on the bottom of the slope for your approach on this hole. All right, so now we're at hole 6's tee, which you just kind of come down from that pond I showed you earlier to get here, and you're playing back towards hole 5's tee. 262 feet, flag dead straight ahead, just to the left of that big tree right before the dirt road. You can see it there. I don't know if the dirt road deep will play as OB on this hole or not. I doubt it, but because the dirt road's pretty darn close to that flag, so I'm not sure. But yeah, this requires a dead straight shot basically. I mean, kind of similar to hole 2, but you're a little more confined in what room you have to work with, but still, you know, plenty wide. Solid shot from Dave, just faded a little left on him. Not bad. It's pin high left. Probably still circle on though. I didn't really flex that one as much as I wanted to. We are seeing these holes for the first time, folks, as we're filming this, so kind of bear with us. Dave hit the big tree. That, I don't know, it might be close. I'm not sure how close that tree is to the flag. Try one more. It's a nice hyzer flip to turn. That is right next to the flag to the right of it. Here's the left side of the green. That first shot I threw the flex, it just faded out a little too fast on me, but still edge of circle 1. That other backhand is pretty much maybe 20 short of the basket right there on the right hand side. And there's that big pine tree. So the big pine tree is actually probably about 50, 60 feet short of the basket. So just kind of give you a little bit more perspective on the distance. All right, so hole 7T is just closer to the road from hole 6's pin. Very short walk. You have a similar shot here. It's 258 dead straight ahead. You can see the flag right there through the trees. Very similar shot to hole 6. You can see the white flag kind of dead straight ahead. It's 258 feet. So again, similar shot. The big difference is lower ceiling. So I have to control your height a little bit more on this one compared to the last one. But other than that, it's kind of normal. This has multiple lines. I mean, you could play like a forehand wide left over the road and have it skip right to the basket. You can go right out the gut, or you can play, there is what looks to be kind of a wide right hyzer line, where if you get a good disc on angle, you can probably skip left a good bit and have that. So a couple different options. We'll kind of try them out a little bit here. Again, this is our first time seeing any of these holes, but Philip Hall, who's kind of the TD of this tournament, asked me to come out and film this Temp course for y'all, just in case y'all don't get a chance to come out and practice. Because I don't think the baskets aren't going to go in until tournament day. They said they might put them out Friday before the tournament to let people practice, but that's still kind of up in the air. So this may be really the only look people get at the course. So yeah. Also, this should be on UDisc. I don't know if it'll be on UDisc by the time I post this video, but I know that Lee, who was helping us earlier, did put this on UDisc, but it hadn't got improved yet, so it's still kind of just waiting. like pin high way left. Don't know if there's any OB on this hole or not. The road left could be OB maybe. I don't know. They didn't really tell us about out of bounds, so just kind of pay attention to your OB sheet on tournament day. But I'm sure it'll be painted or flagged or whatever, and there'll be an OB sheet posted, but I wasn't told about any OB on this course. But I could imagine there might be some. Good line of slow nose up. Well, let's try this wide right line. Kind of like that. I don't know if I got enough skip. Yep. I think this is a good shot from Dave for sure. That might be deep. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think that's the best route. I think that's the easiest route to hit. So anyway, here's where our disc landed off the tee. A little deep. Didn't skip left quite enough, but still edge of circle. So maybe play more inside or something on more angle or more overstable. Our other backhands that were straight at it up the middle that faded out left were actually a little bit closer than these were. So all in all, you know, you got your options open to you. All right, so now we're at hole 8. It's right across the road from the holes we just played. Supposedly the basket is either just in front of or just behind that backstop. It's a little over 500 feet. It plays as a par 4. And I mean, you just kind of have this wide open soccer field to play through. I assume the road left is probably going to be out of bounds. So really just throw something as straight as you can, as far as you can off the tee, and then kind of work from there. Decent progress. Probably that like just north of 300 foot kind of dead straight shot you're looking for. Are you riding the bear bus, Dave?
No.
Or calling for all students riding the bear bus? Want to make sure. That's about as good as it gets for me on a backhand. Yeah, that's gonna go away right, I think. Well, maybe not. Yeah, it's fading out right. I might have got a little further than my air shots, but just petered out right. So that would make the approach shot to the basket longer, being more right. So here's where my 2 air shots landed. That's the one that was a little more right. That one over there is one that faded a little more left, a little more forward. Both of these are just north of 200 feet to the backstop. Again, I can't tell if the basket's going to be in front of the backstop or behind it. So that could change how tricky the approach shot's going to be. But I can at least kind of give you an idea of where some drives landed. And again, generally you want to be aiming for this backstop area, and the basket should be either just in front of it or just behind it. I was able to confirm that the basket is going to be in front of the backstop. And there is an OB line that plays along these stakes before the road to the left, and then it kind of curves once it gets up towards the green. So definitely want to put air to the right-hand side, because there is that OB line left, and I believe it runs all the way down to the tee where you see all the orange netting and everything like that. So the OB line is actually going to be to the left and actually closer to the fairway than the road. So just keep that OB line in mind. That's the one OB line I've been able to confirm so far. There might be more though. We'll see. All right, so now hole 9's tee box is just past the backstop where that basket is. And you're throwing to where Dave is standing under the tree. It's about 320. So it definitely requires for a right-handed player a big forehand or a big backhand turnover up the middle, or a lefty backhand up the middle. So that's what it looks like. That's better. Might fade out early. Yeah, didn't turn it over enough. And that's short as well. So anyway, that gives you a look. Don't quite have the distance for this one. Got that noodle arm life. So that backhand I threw just faded out early. Didn't keep turning, but it is close to pin high, but probably about a 40 to 50 footer. Low ceiling, obviously, because of those low hanging branches you got to get underneath. Might be a roller play for me, honestly, or I need to be able to throw a more powerful forehand that skips hard to the right or something. All right, so now we're at hole 10's tee, and the basket is even with Dave as far as distance, but it's about 30 feet left around the corner, so it's a little bit of a blind shot. So you won't be able to see the flag from the tee, but we were able to find it. So really it requires just kind of a straight shot that's going to get around this corner left. Got around the corner. Circle one. Yeah. All right, I'll circle one. Now that's good, right? I'm a little long, he says. All right, so we're at the corner, so now I can kind of show you where the flag is. It's literally right there, right around the corner. So there's my shot that went a little deep. You can kind of see it on the ground right there to the right of the cart, a little deep of the pin. I see both my discs now. They're literally both right there, both deep. So juiced them a little bit. One's still edge of circle one, the other is like circle two deep. So I need to play it a little shorter than I thought, a little more left. All right, folks, now we're at hole 11. This is 400 feet. It's past those two green dumpsters. You can see the white flag right there. It's also a very low ceiling unless you go over the top of the dumpsters with like some kind of turnover shot maybe. I can tell you what this is going to be for me and Dave. And what's that? This will be a par. That's right, because I can't throw 400 feet. And even if I could, I sure as hell couldn't throw 400 feet over the top of that big old tree or over the top of these dumpsters. So this is a par hole for Rams for sure, but I could see some pros and advanced players getting to it. Maybe some cheater MA2 players that throw far. Not going to mention any names. I like that. Dave, if you do that, that's a par. We like that. Great. Just like that. Get my little 280, 300 feet, have my little 100-foot up shot. No problem. All right, so there's the basket up close. Our discs were about 80 feet short of it. Then the next hole, you just walk down this fence line Dave's walking down to get to the next tee. All right, so now we're at hole 12. It's about 260 feet. You can see Dave's cart. That's pin high with the basket, but it's in the woods left, and the gap you have to get through to get into those woods left is what, like maybe 6 to 8 feet wide? And like the ceiling's also low, and there's some branches kind of sticking into the gap even, so it's pretty tough. You basically have to have a disc land kind of just short of Dave's cart and then flare left hard and try to get through the gap. That's really the only way I can see it done, just because of how low the ceiling is once you get up there, and we'll show you when we get up there. But I'm thinking something overstable, try to land kind of just short of the cart and then have it flare left really hard. I mean, that's kind of the only way I see getting to this basket. We'll show you when we get up there. It's not fun. You also might notice a theme if you played this tournament last year, that we're basically just playing the course backwards for the most part. But they cut out the holes that were by the school and the playground, and then they kind of played some more holes around the soccer field area. And yeah, we're basically just like starting backwards. That might not be bad.
Might not be.
That was a little more forward. Actually, that might be a putt through the gap. I think if you do that a little more forward, that probably work. A little short. It's not gonna skip left enough, I don't think. It's probably in the mouth of the gap, but not inside of it. So that's probably like a putt at the basket through the gap. That's probably good. All right, so there's Dave's cart. That's exactly where it was when we were from the tee. Here's the hole I was talking about you got to get through. Just as I thought, That one went a little too straight. That was the foul that I threw. That's the last disc I threw. That was the last disc that Dave threw. It was just a little too short. Not too bad, though. You can still straddle out and putt at it. This was my pyro. It went too far forward. Didn't skip left enough. So I'd be pinched off from the gap, having to throw some kind of like chip forehand or like anti-jump putt or something. And then that overstay box floor definitely went way too straight. But there is kind of a backdoor route if you do push it too straight. As you can see right here, sort of. You can maybe punch something through there if you throw it a little too straight. Get up and down for par. But yeah, it's a tricky one. You have to judge the distance just right and get a perfect skip into the green. All right, so now we're at hole 13. The tee's right down the fence line from the last basket. You can see the flag down there tucked into the left. That's where the pin will be. It's about 315, 320. So just kind of another stock out wide hyzer shot that fades in pretty much. Might be it. Might be short. Might be a little short, but it was a good line. That's solid. A little short, but it's a good line. That's it, I think. I got a dead skip. I think I'm still about a flag. So it'll definitely be one of those wind-dependent holes. What's up there? So we're at the green, and both my discs are well within circle one. So a little short, but still solid. All right, so now we're at hole 14. This is a blind shot, dog leg left. I'll show you the end of the fairway once we get to the end of it, but this first stretch is probably about 150, 200 feet. But the total hole is 370, and the basket's gonna be kind of near this little gutter cap thing. You know what hole this is, Dave?
14.
But do you know what it is? It's a par hole, that's right, 'cause it's way too far. Definitely don't want to be inside left, I'll say that. Like, if you're gonna miss, go straight. You'll have an open look at the basket for 3. And chances are, I probably don't have the distance to get there. In fact, I know I don't. Maybe a circle 2 putt if I get everything. Open look. I'm not even gonna bother throwing anymore. So I know I don't have it. That's good from Dave. That's out there in the open, looking at the basket. Let's end it right there.
Yep.
All right, so here's that corner. That was maybe a 200-foot stretch from the tee. And then you can see the cement culvert. The flag is just to the left of it. So the basket may be on top of the culvert, or it may just be to the left of it, behind it. Dave's walking right towards the pink flag that's marked. Our discs are right there. They're short, but easy up and downs for par. 370 on a hyzer line's asking a lot out of old noodle arm me and Dave, but definitely easy up and downs for par, and I think that's probably what a lot of hands are going to be doing on this hole. But definitely a hole that pros can get, or advanced players. All right, so now we're on hole 15, 420 feet. Haha. That's the pin, that white flag right there. There is a ditch short of the green and kind of a marsh area that is going to play as out of bounds. So I'm not exactly sure how far out the fairway it takes to get to that marshy ditch. Probably like 275. Honestly, if you don't have the distance, I think playing a safe, straight shot that hyzers left towards this wood line, not in the woods, obviously, stay in the fairway, and then just pitch across is probably the play, honestly. Because I don't really know how much distance it takes to cover. I mean, obviously you can throw far enough to get to that pine tree, then that would be crossing, I guess. And that big pine tree is about 280 from the tee. And obviously that fence that Dave's flying potentially over is out of bounds, I'd imagine. And yeah, he's OB. You had the distance though.
Yeah.
You got there.
I mean, you can get over it.
You can, but I just think, like, as far as OB is concerned, to play the safest shot possible, I think hyzering away from the OB and just ending up somewhere left over there, and then just throwing across like a less than 200-foot shot probably is way easier than trying to cross. Because then if you try to cross at the pine like you did, like you risk overturning something over the fence like it happened to you,
Yeah.
or you risk coming up short and winding up in that crap. So see, that's up the fairway, that's left, that's away from all the marshy crap, and I probably have like a 200-foot up shot to the basket or less. So Dave made it, but I think we're probably a similar distance from the basket, and he brought the OB more into play. I mean, you can go either way you want. I think if you want to hit this shot, I think, and pros will, you're either throwing big hyzer wide right of that pine over the fence and hyzering in, if you have that kind of hyzer power, or you're throwing like a dead straight hyzer flip shot or a big turnover and trying to get there that way. I don't know. It's really the only ways that I see it happening. I'll try one for fun, but see, that's in the shit. That is right in the ditch. I tried going for it. So it's a good shot, but not for this hole. All right, so now that we're up the fairway, you can see the ditch a little bit better. It starts at the corner of the fence and it runs all the way along the fairway on the right-hand side. All those white flags you see are the OB line that's along the ditch. This is that first shot that I threw, the safe shot I was talking about, just straight let a hyzer left away from the marsh. And I am less than 150 feet from the basket. I was like, I think 115, something like that. So easy up and down to grab a 3. My other disc is a little bit more ahead, but it's in the ditch. So yeah, definitely not worth. That's that pine that Dave was kind of aiming for. And that's probably about 150 feet away from the pin. So either way it works, but I think it's safe just to play over here away from the ditch unless you really got an arm and can attack the basket. All right, now we're on hole 16. It's just past the fence line from the last pin. Basket is over there by the Y tree, just under 270 feet. I think it's 268, supposedly. I imagine the dirt road then doesn't play as OB because you have to cross it unless it plays as like an OB river. So either you can play a backhand. There's kind of a wide right gap you could take backhand, hyzer to the basket, but you could also go up the road on a forehand, skip right. So it really just depends on you, or a lefty backhand, obviously. So I think at that mound I'm aiming my camera at the center of the screen, I think that's a good aiming point, and then break left. That's good. Yep. That's like just short of the 10, maybe edge of circle 1 short-ish. That's good. That's the play. Oh yeah, it's maybe deep of the pin, but circle 1 for sure. Here's the green, there's Dave's cax. Like I said, edge of circle 1 short, and then I parked it with my last shot. So green is, you know, decently guarded, but there's some ways in for sure. Fun shot. All right, and to get to 17's tee, you'll just walk up the shell road that Dave's walking up, and you'll see the pink flag right there for it. I can't really play this hole due to the construction going on right now. They're kind of blocking, but hole 17's 357. You got the road OB right. Basket is straight ahead. You can see the white flag there in center of the screen, 357. So you either go up the gut with a hyzer flip and try to make sure you don't fade left into the woods, or you go over this road with a hyzer shot and just try to get up there as best you can. So gonna have to skip it though for the playthrough because of these people working. Here's a close-up of that pin position. I might not have been pointing out the right flag, honestly, from the tee, but you can see back, there was the construction. Here's the fairway, and then it's just kind of tucked in to the right side of these pine trees. It's it. Again, the hole's 357 feet. It plays slightly downhill, not by much, but a little bit. So maybe plays a little shorter than 357, but there you go. All right, then hole 18's across the street from that pin. You get to this little shack and the tee's right next to it. Final hole, 256 feet. It is dead straight ahead. See the white flag there between these 2 trash cans. So just kind of a simple straight shot, or maybe a little hyzer towards the fence line, break towards it. to finish things off with. Yeah, it's pretty much parked, a little short, didn't quite get enough height on it, but it's pretty close. That's better. Yeah, that's definitely circle one right there. All right, folks, that's gonna do it for this video here at the temporary course at West Mobile County Park being used for the 2023 Southside Doubles Tournament. I hope for those of you who are playing this event, find this video helpful if you weren't able to come out and check it out before the tournament. And otherwise, for those of you out there watching from around the world, hope you found some entertainment in me checking out a new little temp course and showing it off and having some fun. But that's gonna do it for this one. Catch you next time. Please be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. And keep the channel growing and all that good stuff, and we'll see you out here next time.